Hello and welcome to this Generation Tech video. My name is British Ben, and today we are going to be looking at 10 little known features of the USS Defiant from Deep Space Nine. Features such as Worf's karaoke room. No, I'm joking, that's not a thing. Okay, let's get started. Number 1. Sunken bridge design. Some people think that the bridge is here. Not really sure why, perhaps because it looks kind of like a cockpit. But no, the bridge is actually in the traditional place for a bridge on a Starfleet vessel, right at the top in the middle of the ship. You'd think that because the Defiant is a warship, they'd put it in a better protected place, such as the ship's core, the hardest place to penetrate with a torpedo, but no. Starfleet has a set way of doing things, that can't be changed. But how it is different is that the bridge is sunken into the body of the ship so it does not stick out on the surface of the hull. Like the bridge on every other Starfleet ship, notably the original Enterprise, Enterprise D, E, JJ, and even Discovery. Being sunken into the body of the ship obviously provides more protection for the crew members. Number 2. Ablative armor. The Defiant has ablative armor that burns off, absorbing kinetic energy as it gets hit with weapons fire, allowing the ship to take hits even when shields are down until the armor starts getting holes in it. You probably knew this already about the Defiant, but what you may not know is that this armor provided maximum coverage across all the surfaces of the ship, and many key systems that would be exposed on other Starfleet ships were behind articulated or jettisonable hull plating, systems such as docking clamps, shuttle bay doors, and various vents that would usually be open to space. Even the torpedo launchers fired out of these small slits either side of the navigational deflector. Number 3. Twin tactical stations. The Defiant's bridge had 2 tactical stations because the ship just had so many weapons that perhaps you needed 2 people to operate them all. Weapons such as pulse phaser cannons, regular phasers, photon and quantum torpedoes. In fact, due to the nature of Starfleet panels, pretty much any panel on the ship and even handheld pads with the right access codes could be configured to control the weapon systems. But obviously, due to security concerns, this was not normally done and tactical controls were done from the bridge. In contrast to the tactical stations going from 1 to 2, the traditional con and ops consoles at the front of the bridge had been merged into just a single console operated by one person on the Defiant's bridge. Number 4. Warhead. So remember this scene from the Han Solo movie where the Millennium Falcon shoots off the front of the ship to escape from this black hole thing? Wonder where they got that idea from. The Defiant could basically do the same thing with this module at the front that housed the navigational deflector. But that wasn't all it housed. It also had 6 photon torpedo warheads and its own impulse engine so it could ram itself into whatever target you pointed it at. This was a kind of last resort kind of weapon though, because it would leave the Defiant unable to go to warp and awaiting rescue, since it's the navigational deflector that protects the ship from being ripped apart by space dust at high warp velocities. So in First Contact, Worf didn't actually have to try ramming the entire ship into the Borg cube, he could have just fired this thing off.
Perhaps today is a good day to die. Prepare for ramming speed!
I'm sure Worf knew that, he just wanted to meet Kahless. Number 5. Escape pods. Although you don't see them on the surface of the ship due to the ablative armor, the Defiant did have 26 escape pods. You get to see them when the ship is destroyed. Each pod could hold 6 people, and these pods contained supplies and systems that could keep their crew alive for 8 months. A fleet of pods could dock together in what was called gaggle mode, which would increase their operational lifetime even longer. The pods were modified from the standard Starfleet design to reduce their sensor profile and EM signatures. Basically, they were stealth pods, characteristics they shared with their mother vessel. Number 6. Stealth design. Now we all know that the Defiant had a cloaking device, but you may not realize some of the other stealth features built into the design. The reason the ship is comprised of a single hull section, where most Starfleet ships have 2 hulls and the warp nacelles were pulled close to the body of the vessel, was to minimize the sensor cross-section of the ship. Just like why stealth fighter jets store their bombs inside a bomb bay rather than hanging off the wings. The Defiant also limited the amount of exhaust gases it would emit.
Well, the thing's got to have a tailpipe.
Actually, it kinda didn't during some operations. The Defiant would store heat emitted by the computer core and also exhaust gases from the impulse engines for a limited period of time. This would reduce the ship's ion signature during cloaked or stealth operations. They would then vent the gases out into space once they had returned to friendly territory.
Gas, Captain.
Number 7. Shuttlecraft. Although the Defiant is a small ship with only 4 decks, it does actually have 3 shuttle bays. 2 of these bays together can carry 4 small non-warp capable shuttle pods. Then we have the middle bay, which was actually added to the ship as an upgrade in an empty space reserved for future weapons or computer core expansion. This bay is the only one we see on screen, and it can hold a full-size shuttlecraft. The Defiant carries the Chaffee, which is a Type 10 shuttlecraft with warp nacelles modeled after those of her mother ship. The shuttle is equipped with standard phasers and micro-torpedo launchers. Number 8. Self-replicating mines. The Defiant carried self-replicating mines which were used to mine the entrance to the wormhole to stop the Dominion threat. These mines were cloaked, carried a standard photon torpedo warhead, and could use their thrusters to swarm around ships that entered the minefield. About 20 mines would be sufficient to destroy a large attack cruiser. But perhaps their most impressive characteristic was that they were self-replicating. So if one mine detonated, the one next to it could replicate another one to take its place. Number 9. It carried trilithium. Trilithium was an ingredient in various weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass destruction.
And it certainly was no understatement. In Star Trek Generations, Tully and Soren used trilithium to destabilize a star with incredibly destructive results.
All nuclear fusion is breaking down.
Sensor records show the observatory launched a solar probe into the sun a few moments ago.
The star is going to collapse in a matter of minutes.
Sir, the implosion has produced a level 12 shockwave.
That'll destroy everything in this system.
And so Starfleet thought it was a good idea to carry this incredibly dangerous element on board the Defiant, allowing Sisko to come up with his own creative ideas in using it to deal with Maquis terrorists.
To all the members of the Maquis Resistance, this is Captain Sisko of the USS Defiant. In response to the Maquis' use of biogenic weapons in their recent attacks, I'm about to take the following action. In exactly 1 hour, I will detonate 2 quantum torpedoes that will scatter trilithium resin into the atmosphere of Solosus 3. I thereby will make the planet uninhabitable to all human life for the next 50 years.
Number 10. It can land on a planet, in theory. Yes, the Defiant is apparently capable of atmospheric flight and even landing on the surface of a planet. It is equipped with landing pads similar to those on the USS Voyager. Only problem is they don't know if the ship could lift off again after landing because the maneuver has never been tried. However, the Deep Space Nine technical manual does say that if the impulse engines and thrusters are functioning, then, quote, a successful liftoff to orbital velocity is likely. I like those odds. Well guys, that is our 10 little known features of the USS Defiant. Which one's your favorite? Why not write it in a comment below? As always, subscribe if you're new for new science fiction videos every day. No, every other day I think it is. Whatever. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.